How does one come to love Hashem?
There's actually an interesting story that will help us understand and give the answer to this question. In the early years when Hasidus first was founded, opposition against Hasidus was very severe, to the extent that in many places people were even afraid to identify as a Chassid, and they would hide their identity. There was one Chassid that told a story, how is it that he became a Chassid? And he said the following: someone came to our town, a guest speaker, and we heard that he's a great Torah scholar, and he's a brilliant person, and everyone came to hear his talk. And in fact, he spoke for a long time. He gave brilliant insight into Torah, and everybody was amazed by what he had to say. At the end of his speech, he said, I have one more question, and with this I'll conclude. And his question was, it says in the Torah, this is one of the 613 mitzvahs, one of the commandments, V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha, you should love God your God. How can there be a commandment to love? Love is an emotion. Love is a feeling in the heart. You can command someone to do something or not to do something, but how could you command somebody to feel, to love? Either you have it or you don't. And everybody was, wow, that's an amazing question. What's the answer? They're waiting for the answer. Instead of giving an answer, he said, if you want the answer to this question, go to Mezrich. Mezrich was the headquarters of the Hasidim, where the Mezrich Maggid was. And by saying these words, he exposed his true identity, that he was a Chassid. And as he said these words, he jumped out the back window and he ran for his life. And of course, there was a big confusion in the shul. Some were pro, some were against. But one person said, this Chassid said, what bothered me more than anything else, they were talking about that it was a deception, he didn't identify himself. I was concerned about his question. I really wanted the answer to the question. Picked myself up, and I went to Mezrich, and I met with the Mezrich Maggid, and I said to him, I would like to have the answer to this question. How could there be a mitzvah to love Hashem? And he said, you're right. There cannot be a commandment to feel, to love. That's an emotion. But there's a principle that the mind is the key to the heart. The brain stimulates the heart. So if with your mind you will think about the greatness of Hashem, the beauty of godliness, and meditate on that, and think about it in depth and in detail, then naturally that knowledge will stimulate in your heart love for Hashem. So the commandment is really on the mind, and that we do have control. Take your brain and think about the greatness of Hashem. And if you think about the greatness of Hashem, naturally this will stimulate love for Hashem. Like we see with everything else. If a person has no interest in something, imagine a friend offers you an investment, invest in this business, and you're not really interested. Then he sits down and shows you black and white how you can make $500,000 the first year, and suddenly you're excited, your heart is beating and pumping, you're running after him. How did he manage to create that emotion? Once you understood how valuable it is and how amazing it is, then the feeling just came. And the same with fear. If someone's going somewhere or is associating with another person, and you're told that this person or this place is a very, very dangerous place, and once you realize it, you're overcome with fear and you run as quick as you can. So that means that if the mind understands things a certain way, it'll stimulate the feeling in the heart. So basically, that's what Chassidus is all about. Chassidus is to learn about the greatness of Hashem, to understand it, to internalize it, and then naturally the love for Hashem comes.